Good evening and welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Just days after the Uri attack in which 19 soldiers were killed, another terror strike near an Army and BSF camp in Baramulla last night seems to have actually been foiled. One BSF jawan, 24-year-old Nitin Kumar, was killed, but the terrorist escaped, says the BSF, possibly using the cover of darkness to get away. It's also been a day that has seen at least 5 major ceasefire violations by Pakistan, and all of this comes amidst reports that the Indian and the Pakistani national security advisors have spoken to each other on the phone to diffuse tensions along the border and the line of control. The question we're asking tonight is whether India and Pakistan can come back from the brink. Joining us on the program tonight, we have Ambassador Rajiv Dogra in the studio with us. The national spokesperson of the BJP, Sambit Patra, is with us tonight. Writer and commentator Sudhindra Kulkarni joins us from Mumbai. Lieutenant General Shankar Prasad joins us tonight from Delhi, and Praveen Swami here from the Indian Express is in the studio with us. Let me take this question to you first, Praveen. What do you make of this particular attack that has happened in Baramulla first? Is this the kind of retaliation or that the Indian agencies were expecting, or could this be the first in a series of possible retaliations from the Pakistanis?
Attacks like this have been happening up and down Kashmir for many years now. It's in the grand scheme of things, as you know, Nidhi, a fairly small attack by the standards of what we've seen in Kashmir. They've been happening, they will continue happening. What we have to wait and see is whether after the Indian strikes across the line of control, whether the tempo of these things escalates. The fear would be that with the situation on the line of control deteriorating, if the intensity of violence on the line of control increases, obviously infiltration across the line of control becomes easier, because it becomes harder for Indian troops to maintain their defensive positions and to repair the line of control fencing. If that happens, it becomes easier for these groups to bring in manpower, to bring in weapons. And with the situation in Kashmir as disturbed as it already is, and with large numbers of young men quite publicly voicing their desire to join jihadist groups, this spring could turn into a very hot one. 2003, we asked for the ceasefire, we got it. Are we heading towards a situation where that ceasefire collapses? I don't know, but that is the question.
Also, with winter coming, this might be that last attempt that Pakistan can make to push in as many people as possible. General Shankar Prasad, how do you see this attack in Baramulla, sir? Do you believe that we should now brace ourselves for more attacks on army camps and other security installations? The other question, though, I have to ask is that from Pakistan's point of view, if you're going to have the jihadis and the terrorists carry out these attacks so soon after Uri, wouldn't it immediately be linked to the ISI and to the Pakistan establishment? Would they risk it?
Yes, of course it is. Both your questions are correct. Such kind of incidents will only be increasing now. Whether there are 2 people attacking or 4 people attacking or 6 people attacking, after the incident of LC operation by us, a surgical strike, Pakistan is bound to react. And they will not react militarily in the sense that they will not attack any of our positions, because they are obviously not capable of doing it. Now they're going to be ready to do it. Nor do they want to escalate it to that level, because the answer is going to be very tough for them. What they will continue to do is what they've been doing for the last 20 years, to intensify terrorism into India. Whether it is in Kashmir Valley or in Jammu area or rest of India, these attacks are bound to happen. There are 2 factors to it. One, those who are going to infiltrate now during this heavy firing across the line of control, and those that are maybe already here in sleeper cells. So such like activity is bound to increase, and also on the trans-border, trans-LC firing is going to increase. So Pakistan is today going to escalate the situation as far as the LC and the terrorism is concerned, and yet keep talking about de-escalating as the 2 NSAs have spoken. What we have to be prepared for is ingress across the line of control, try and control it as much as we can, prevent the Pakistan army personnel, special groups and what they call special action teams to prevent coming into our country and doing any surgical strike like we did across them. And secondly, of course, be more vigilant into the hinterland, where like Baramulla and Srinagar and rest of these places, where are administrative and logistic camps, and we have to be very careful. While the last night's incident has been well handled by BSF and by the Rashtriya Rifles, I would suggest that we need to slightly alter our tactics and strategy to defend these places. I would like to just make one point through you, Nidhi, that while a perimeter defense with barbed wire and all the bunkers that we create there are a good way and have to be done, if you really want these kind of people, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people coming in and trying to assault and yet creating an odd casualty on us, we have to also have people come out of the perimeter into positions from where they can take these people from outside the perimeter. Now that's something which is very tough,
point, sir.
and there's something that is doable.
I think it's also important that at least, thankfully, thank God, nobody was able to enter the BSF and the army camps last night, and this could have been far worse if they had been able to do that. And so thankfully that at least has been foiled. But Ambassador Rajiv Dogra,
the point I wanted to make was
just one moment.
The point I wanted to make was that these 2 terrorists have run away, and they could have been handled if there were some elements outside also. Then they wouldn't have been able to run away.
Well, I also want to come back to that question in just a moment, but if you're going to have retaliatory action through terror strikes like these so soon after Uri, when the whole world's attention is focused on you, isn't Pakistan discrediting itself more and more, or is it just going to brazen this out and say these are non-state actors, perhaps from within the Indian state, and this has nothing to do with us?
Well, Pakistan, has it ever cared for the world? Is brazen?
Maybe this time it has to, because it's so isolated, for instance, within South Asia.
Well, that's a bigger question whether it is isolated or not. China has with it. So I don't know. Russia just had exercises in POK, Gilgit-Baltistan. So isolation also is a matter of degrees. We've done very well. After all, Afghanistan and Bangladesh were friendly to Pakistan, but partly for their own reasons, partly because of some sympathy towards us, they have swung entirely in a different way. But let me swing this entire discussion in a different manner. Would the terror strikes have discontinued had nothing happened? Would the terror strikes have gone on had Pakistan been worried about the world opinion? I think we have to go back to 6th June of this year, when Rahil Sharif called in the Defense Minister of Pakistan, Finance Minister, and the so-called Foreign Minister of Pakistan into his room and told them to get on with anti-India propaganda and Project Kashmir. Since that day, there's been no let-up. And they took a calculated decision whether Rahil Sharif did it for his last hurrah before retirement, or he felt that Kashmir has probably been prepared enough for things to heat up. Since then,
so you're saying they don't care, and they will continue to use this as a weapon. And therefore the question, Sambit, that I think worries a lot of people is, if a surgical strike will not deter another attack from taking place, what do we do when the next big attack happens? Because you can't keep crossing the LOC. It isn't something that just happens all the time. What do we do? What are the options?
There would be multiple options, and I believe as far as the problem called Pakistan is concerned, it is always a multi-layered problem, and it has to be addressed through multi-layers. Diplomacy is one of the options, and rightly pointed out by most of the panel today also, that Pakistan is gradually getting isolated internationally as well as locally. Locally we saw as to how it got isolated, but almost all the SAARC nations boycotted the SAARC meeting, and we have seen as to how the American dispensation and the other European dispensations have questioned Pakistan. As far as India's dealing with Pakistan is concerned, on the military front that your question probably is hinting towards, the question before the Uri attack was, how are we going to deal with Uri attack? And after the surgical attack, everyone in the country, our opposition parties also are saying that, well, yes, this was a well measured step taken by the government of India. I believe there would be a flow chart as to how things, if goes wrong in the future, the dealings would be by the government of India, and I would not speculate as to what it would be in the future. I would rather wait, but this surgical strike has conveyed a strong message that no, not beyond this. We are not going to take all these lying low. We are going to hit back in the way which is going to be attack on the
terrorists. I just hope somebody there across the border is listening to that message. Sudhindra Kulkarni, the other important story that's emerging today, which has not been confirmed nor denied from India, has been this phone call between the two national security advisors, apparently to talk about how to lower tensions along the line of control. What do you make of that? I mean, there are so many layers to this story. One of them being that India is also not releasing video evidence or photographs photographic evidence of the cross LOC raid because it doesn't want to escalate things with Pakistan beyond a point, and they are trying to keep tempers calm. So in a sense, the current scenario of India holding back that evidence, Pakistan publicly denying the raid took place, is something that may suit both countries. How do you see it?
You know, we have this report from Pakistan that Sartaj Aziz, the Foreign Affairs Advisor to the Prime Minister, saying that there was a telephonic contact between the two National Security Advisors, Ajit Doval and Nasir Januja, and that both have agreed to work towards reducing tension. This must be welcomed. It means that once again, the two governments, I mean, this could not have happened without a kind of a tacit approval by the heads of state, heads of government, that we need to work together to reduce tensions. And we have seen in the past that the two governments have taken, you know, some unconventional steps, such as the two national security advisors meeting outside India and Pakistan, such as Bangkok, and which in turn started a new process of dialogue, ultimately resulting in Sushma Swaraj going to Pakistan and saying that the two countries would resume comprehensive bilateral dialogue. If
Are
the
you
two
saying,
governments
Mr.
actually
Kulkarni,
go in this direction,
are you saying,
they
Mr.
would have
Kulkarni,
done,
that nothing is
they would have done
impossible?
great
Are
service
you
to the two
saying
peoples.
it's possible even now to have if the two NSAs have spoken or, you know, sort of off the record, or, you know, off the sort of public radar, that it could lead to anything even in the near future? Because right now things just don't look very good.
No, you see, it may not look good, but neither India nor Pakistan has the option of escalating tension to a level where it becomes a full-blown military conflict. We cannot afford this, nor Pakistan. At the same time, we have no option but to start negotiations. How we actually lead to a position where the two prime ministers meet is a different matter, but it is bound to happen.